Hey everyone, I'm Dylan. Welcome to our channel. I just wanted to pop in today. I have a little bit of a little better setup going on. I got my camera, got a little microphone over here. Hopefully the sound is uh, maybe a little bit better than some of our older videos. That's something we want to carry on. But besides all the technical stuff, I really wanted to talk to you about my journey and kind of what led me here, and really how amazing it is to have no doubt in my mind that Hannah is my twin flame, my divine counterpart. God created her for me. And it's this feeling within me that I know to be true. And while scientists might not be able to uh, physically explain what a twin flame is and the reality of it, um, it's something that many people have felt within their hearts, and within this day and age, we're attuning ourselves to that vibration of being able to develop a life with your divine counterpart and to pursue that person. And yeah, so it's real, right? And I don't need a scientific explanation, but to me it is very logical that I was created to live with someone that was created for me, and to build a life with that person. And so I know I've found that, and I know that you that are watching, that you may desire that too. Whether you are for sure that it's true or not, you want someone in your life that really cares about you, really loves you. And yeah, I'm here to tell you that you deserve that and you're worthy of it. And yeah, like, it's attainable, within this lifetime, that you can reach that person. Um, Growing up in high school, I always, wondered who it was going to be, right? What girl's going to like me. I wasn't super confident. But I started to realize that, I was attractive. Yeah, I mean, I gained confidence over time, but I was very shy. I'm an only child, and my parents loved me deeply, and I'm very grateful for that relationship that I've built with my parents. So let's talk about my awakening. Um, when I was in high school, my mom, and even before that, my mother, she studied Reiki. She went to Toronto one time to take Reiki classes, and I didn't really know a lot about it at that time. I was still pretty young, probably around like 8 or 9, um, maybe a little bit older. But she went to take these classes in Toronto. So years later, she found a new teacher that was living in Ohio at the time, and she was living out of her car, and she was teaching Reiki. And so my mom started to take the master class with her, and I really felt called to start doing that myself. And it was like senior year of high school, I'm pretty sure, like the summer leading into senior year. And yeah, I started taking Reiki level 1, and this was like the start of like my awakening, I would say. And in high school, I dabbled with marijuana, and um, you know was oftentimes smoking and receiving some sort of insight or some sort of creative energy, and really started to question, like, reality itself, and like why I was here, what my purpose was, what it all meant, right? At some point we all kind of go through those thoughts, I think, and at different times. And yeah, so it really guided me to start just developing a connection, bringing more awareness to my connection with the world around me. And another thing that helped me with this is my daddy took me to a camp in New Jersey. It was held by this guy named Tom Brown, who has sadly passed away recently, but he taught survival skills. tracking, building a fire with nothing but material that you would find in the woods, and building shelter, finding food, and finding water, cleaning water, um, making bow drills, and it was really an amazing class that helped me to awaken alongside of Reiki. It was like these two energies. I was just becoming more aware of my connection with the world around me, and that those two things were single-handedly like what propelled me towards recognizing my connection with God and how powerful that really was. And because you don't really have to build a connection with God, it's already with you. And so just building that awareness that you have a connection with God. And there's a point in my life where I didn't believe in God, but I would still journal, and I would sign off each journal to like, thank you, universe. I'm so grateful for you. And so I was really acknowledging that there was something outside of me, some energetic force that was guiding me and that was there with me. And so, and it wasn't like, it's not woo woo for me. It's like very logical and very like I felt it within my being that, there's something bigger than me out there. And so, like I went to 2 classes with my dad in New Jersey, and those really, like after one of them where my mom came with us, it was more geared towards going inward and connecting with like your inner self, and like moving through your chakras, and like becoming aware of like the sacred space within you. And on our way home, I remember like having this meltdown. I like completely didn't know who I was. I had this identity crisis, right? I was like, everything I knew before, it was really bullshit, and like I was losing my ego, right? I was purging everything that I knew before to be true about myself, the identity I had created for myself. It was attempting to hold on, and I was just purging and crying and questioning who I was. And that some might call that like the dark night of the soul, and you might have multiple times in your life where you feel that way, where you're like, what the hell is happening? I don't understand why I feel this way. I don't even know who I am. And that's okay, right? You can trust that within that period of time, you're only expanding to deeper parts of yourself and your being, and you're coming closer to the understanding that we are one with God, and we simply are. We don't have to try and be anything. We are not held to the person that we were yesterday. Each day we can make new choices, new decisions that change the outcome of our lives, that really can allow you to heal and move through things in your life that are holding on or creating blocks. And it's safe to let go of those things and feel your feelings, of course, and but know that you can transmute that pain into love, into joy, and to really follow that pain and feel it, and then transmute it. And it's really like alchemy, to transmute the feeling of pain into love, into forgiveness. And it's like you deserve that for yourself. And so that was a big part of my awakening, that process of purging the ego. And there's been times where it comes back, and I have this ego self that's holding me back, and it's a big part of this world today. Like just thinking of Instagram and TikTok and everything, and you can feel this like need to identify with a specific version of yourself to show that to the world. But when you let that go and simply just be who you are and what you enjoy, and to talk about things that you like to talk about, and yeah, to not let the world drag you down. You're worthy of like success and of happiness and joy, and you're capable of moving through that fear and that anxiety, and it's not wrong to be anxious about moving forward and making big life decisions. It's normal. um, but yeah, it's important to not hide from that feeling, to not you know not escape, right, through alcohol and marijuana and drugs. And you know you don't need to escape from yourself, right? Just feel the feelings that you feel, and love the part of you that needs attention, really. So yeah, it kind of went off a little bit. I want to try and stay on point here, stay on topic, which is, I'm trying to get across my journey and awakening. And so after graduating college in 2017, I started living with my parents. I was working at our family business, a jewelry store, and didn't really find a lot of purpose there. It was kind of difficult working with my dad and my grandma. I love them. I love them. But working with them was a little bit hard at that point in time. And yeah, so I decided in 2019 to take a road trip around the country. And this was the biggest decision I've ever made in my life that really transformed me and the path that I was on. And it helped me align further with the path that God was guiding me towards, to my higher self. And yeah, I traveled solo around the country for 3 months. Nothing crazy, but it was amazing. It was like so groundbreaking for me to be alone in the country and to feel so supported by God. I stayed with friends that I had known, some people I had just gotten contact with like before I was on the road. Some people was like on the road, and they're like, yeah, you can stay with me for a night as I was passing through their town. And then other times I was staying at national park campsites and BLM land. Yeah, and yeah, it was like such a major shift in my life, and allowed me to come so close to my divine self, and to really, like, I felt so alive. And so it was I was afraid to take that step, right? I'd saved up enough money to where I could have made a down payment on a apartment, or even potentially a small house at the time. And but I decided to take this trip instead, because I knew that it was very, very valuable for me at that point in time. I was like 25 years old, 24 years old, and like, yeah, it was the best decision I've ever made in my life. So if there's anything that you've been contemplating in your life to do, or to go on this amazing trip that you've always wanted, or to move to this certain area, or to let go of this job and align with something that's more in tune with you, then make that step. That's essential to really let go of the limiting beliefs within your consciousness, and that maybe your family members are afraid for you. And within our coaching sessions, we talk to a lot of people where it's like their family doesn't understand what they're doing. They want them to just be safe and secure with a corporate job, and and that's just simply not the life that I desired to live, right? I don't care to work for a corporate company just to get benefits, and not look forward to working every day. Like, I desire to be fulfilled with the work that I do, and know that I'm truly making a difference with the work that I do. So yeah, and that's life purpose, right? That's really just aligning with your life purpose. So after I came back home from that trip, I was welcomed by my parents and my family, and but I said, it was like I was back where I started, right? And so in 2020, in 2021, I went through odd jobs. I was just doing what I could to make money. I started a business in 2020 with marketing. I'm a photographer, videographer, and so I wanted to try and help businesses, create cool ads and to market themselves in a way that was aligned with like where marketing is going with Facebook and social media and everything. And so I thought that was like a cool thing that I could do. And then, I fell on my face pretty much. I, I made enough money to where I could move out of my parents though, and really took a leap of faith. I moved to Detroit, found this apartment that was somewhat in the ghetto, kind of like, I don't really like the word the ghetto, but it was not the greatest part of Detroit. Like people partying outside in the summertime, and I went and checked it out in February, and so it was like, empty streets, no one outside, thought it was kind of peaceful. And I really love, it was like this old building that had this cool architecture and like molding on the walls and wood floors and stuff. It just felt good for me, and it was what I needed. And so after moving there, and before that I had met, so like I kind of have to backtrack a little bit here because I skipped over some really important relationships that I had in my life, and and with two amazing people that I really hope that they're fulfilled with their lives and really enjoying their lives, honestly, because they're great people. And but one of them was a karmic partner that really was just meant to show me a lesson, and and I was in love with her. I've really felt in love with this person. We had built a connection that was like seamless with our lives. It felt like effortless to connect with this person. And I felt at one point, I didn't have the word for it, but that she was my twin flame and that we were meant to be together. And so I confessed my love and wrote a letter and all this stuff. I went all in, and then she told me honestly that like she didn't feel the same way, and so I had to move on from there. After when I met her, it felt like I've known this person, right? It's so easy to connect, to talk. It was beautiful. But in reality, it wasn't a lasting relationship that was meant to fulfill both of our lives. Like we both are meant for different people, and I know that she knows that, and and I recognize that after a period of time. And so in 2020, mid 2020, like October or so, I started to see this girl that I felt like could be my twin flame as well. And it seemed so aligned. I felt tingles during multiple times just talking with her, and felt like God was guiding me to pursue this person as well. Yeah, so I did. And so we started dating, and but we were both in very difficult parts of our lives. She had just gotten out of a relationship that was like many years long, and I was trying to find myself still, and pursuing Reiki, and we had some very difficult conversations, and in some very beautiful experiences together. But there was always this block, that didn't allow us to move forward with joy and with peace. And we both really discovered at the end that we didn't have the same core values, and we didn't have the same core beliefs. I was really starting to acknowledge my awareness of God, and there was a big block there with her, and that's okay. It's completely okay. And but we just simply didn't align, and it's one of the reasons why there are specific signs to your twin flame that you acknowledge, like sharing the same core values, sharing the same vision for your life. They're always going to adore you for who you are. They won't need you to change. They won't ask you to change, but they'll invite you to grow into your higher self. And so, and these two relationships catapulted me forward, right? They were within like 3 years of time, both of them. and they catapulted me forward into really recognizing what I wanted in a relationship. Looking back, I can see where, my karmic partner, it was like, wow, this is amazing. We connect so well, but we really weren't aligned, vibrationally. The friends that we hung out with, the things we desired to do in life didn't align. And despite the very strong connection. So really take a look at those connections that you have and those feelings that you have for people, and test them out, right? Discover the truth within those connections. And it's okay to go all in and have faith in that you will come to a point where you understand why you met this person. And it's okay to surrender that, right? Like I had to surrender this karmic partner to God after she told me she didn't feel the same way. I was like, okay, I need to move forward now. And, there's part of me that still thought maybe we'll still end up together. But after years went by, I was like, no, it's definitely not meant to be with that person. And, and that's okay. And the same with the next person. It was like, wow, we have all these hobbies together. We're creative. We like to dance with fire. And it was like super electric. And, we like similar music. We like going to shows. But, there was times where I didn't feel comfortable in that relationship. And I felt like it was just made me feel uncomfortable. And I know she felt the same way. And, and that's okay. We moved forward. And so when I got my apartment, back to moving into my new apartment, that was right after I had, like 4 or 5 months after I had broken up with this person. We had broken up. And, and I started living on my own. I started to really like pursue my business, and I found a job that was, it was canvassing. It was awful. It was such a bad job, but it was my summer job. And throughout that job, I felt very connected to God. I met a really cool individual that lived in Detroit, and we spent some time together and learned a lot from each other. And I really got to see a perspective of those that lived in that area and the lives that they lived, and and the difference, the contrast between different people's lives. And like we're all at different levels of like awakening to our divine selves. And I think that nothing is on accident. We all have a purpose. And just because someone struggles more doesn't mean that their life is worse. They have that journey for a reason. And so I was really awakening. I was really feeling God. And at this point in time, I knew that God was my source, and that he provided for me, that he kept me safe. And, there's many moments where I was crying, journaling, just like pouring everything out. So I'm just feeling so good in my life because I decided to take this step, start living on my own. I found a job that could support me while I was also doing some marketing and advertising with my business. And, I was creating music, climbing. I started rock climbing that year, really like working on my body. And throughout all this time, like I was really loving myself. Even throughout that trip that I took, like I would take myself out to dinner. I would cook for myself. I would, like I was really showing up for myself in ways that like God was inviting me to do. And that's something that I really feel like supported me on my journey, is not feeling like I needed to do everything with someone. Like I needed to have like a friend with me when I went on this trip, or like, I need to call someone to go out to dinner with. And I can't go out to dinner by myself. Like, why would I go out to dinner by myself? Like, no, screw that. Like, you can go do anything by yourself because you're not alone, right? Like, even like when you are physically alone, you're really not alone. And there was times on that trip where yeah, maybe I was feeling some loneliness, and then next thing you know, there's someone right there ready to have a conversation with me, ready to talk about my life and what I'm doing. And I surrendered to God, and I surrendered to what I was doing, and knew that I was supported, right? That I was being guided. And yeah, that's an essential part of this journey, is really recognizing that you can't control your life. You can only control, what you process within yourself. You can control the decisions that you make. You have a choice. You have free will. You can make any decision you want. And so those are the only things you can control. You can't control how something happens, when it happens. It's hard to determine why some things happen. But when we understand that there's always lessons and mistakes, there's always a lesson that we can take from, going all out on a limb, and the limb breaks, and then we're back at square one. But there's a process there that you took, lessons that you learned. And so, yeah, I'm kind of getting to the end of like my spiritual awakening, because a few months later I met Hannah, and everything changed. I saw her on Instagram, and we had gone to high school together, and yeah, it was like this feeling that we connected. I messaged her, and I had a crush on her in college. We went to high school, college together, similar parties, similar friend groups, and but never really like became friends. And so, yeah, the first night we talked on Zoom or FaceTime, it was like a 4-hour long conversation. Felt like 30 minutes had gone by. We just like filled each other in on our whole lives. And yeah, like it felt really peaceful. It felt like I had found this person, and I still surrendered that. I wasn't like clinging to her. Like, I was like, I had learned that I can't, I don't want to, cling to this person. And, but I can still be myself. I can still send loving messages, but I'm not expecting a response. I'm not expecting this person to like come save me, or, come support me. I'm supporting myself. She's supporting herself. And together we started to support, ourselves with each other. We started to support each other. And, we recognized our oneness. And yeah, there were signs that were, unexplainable, but so deeply true, that we felt with each other. And so, yeah, just know that it's real, that you can do this, that this journey is for you. And yeah, I hope that this educated you from a divine masculine perspective on what the journey can look like. That was like 10 years, 11 years of my life, starting from when I in high school, or no, it would have been more. It would have been like 15 years of my life of the awakening process, and then to discovering my twin flame, right? 15 years. And it might be shorter for you, it might be longer. You might be older when you begin this journey, you might be younger. Doesn't matter, right? All that matters is that you pursue God within your heart. You pursue God in all the things that you do. And maybe you don't want to refer to God, that's okay. Pursue the energy that's all around you, the feeling of joy. Pursue that, right? Choose that. Make a choice to love instead of to hate. Make a choice to be confident instead of to be fearful. Make a choice to trust that you're on the right path, that you're being guided, and you can't make a wrong decision. Everything will lead you closer if you're pursuing love and pursuing God. Thank you so much for listening and coming to our channel. I hope that you learned something from this video and can take something from this video. Feel free to like and subscribe to see more content from us. Yeah, we'll see you next time.